another wonderful drum tutorial. Some of you are probably wondering at this point, what is Rhythms of the Village, or where is Rhythms of the Village? What it is this beautiful cultural center and store that was started by our dear Onoche Chugura when he came to Nigeria when he came to the States from Nigeria following Fela's band, Fela Kuti, where you were his bass player, right?
Yeah.
That's quite an adventure. And in another video, we will be interviewing Baba and talking about his story, because that's really a whole other saga that you really want to know about. So today's drum tutorial is all about syncopation. For the next couple of tutorials, we're going to be talking about syncopation. Over the last few that we have done, we were talking about note values, we talked about basic meter, so you got to learn how to count certain numbers of beats per measure, and then also learned about subdivisions, how you could take one beat and divide it into a number of different notes, either 2, 3, or 4. If this all sounds unfamiliar to you, go back and look at our first few tutorials, definitely tutorials number 1 and 2. Those are going to be really important for you. They're a little bit longer because they have more information in them, but it's really worth it to go get those basics before you go on. So, syncopation is something we save for a little bit later in our teaching, generally because we're not talking so much about the rhythms that lay on the emphasized beats, but the rhythms that lay on beats that are generally not emphasized. So if you listen to me count to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hello. Like I told you, this is a cultural center. There are people coming in all the time, in and out, doing crafts, doing language classes, sewing classes, and music classes, drum classes. And we're located over here in Altadena, California, which is in the northern and eastern part of Los Angeles. So, in any case, going back to what I was saying, if I count to 4, you're going to hear a natural emphasis on 1 and 3. So listen carefully. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's just where the natural emphasis is going to lie. Same thing if I count in 3. The emphasis actually is going to be on 1, and then you're going to have 2 weaker beats after that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So that's how we naturally count. But rhythms can have emphasis in the areas that we don't always naturally count. So in the case of our rhythm today that you just heard us play, we're going to be counting in 4/4, but the emphasis is on beats 2 and beats 4. So if I just count like that, you're going to hear 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Some people would also call this a backbeat. So if we clap to it, and you should try clapping with me right now, it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Has a nice feel to it, right? So this particular rhythm we have today, here is our, oh, well, there goes the cap. I'll get it later. Here's our meter. Here's our 4/4, as we were talking about, also known as common time. And, oh yeah, I almost forgot our drum clef over here. Okay, so first I'm going to write down the counts for you, as I've done in prior tutorials. Let's do black for this. So you can see 1. I think I should use another one? Okay. Okay, let's try blue. Black and blue, we're bruised today.
How you doing now?
Nice to see you.
Good to see you too. How have you been?
Great.
Say hi, you're on camera.
Assalamu alaikum.
See you again.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we have 1, that's better, you're right. 2, 3, 4 beats. But as I told you, the emphasis is actually going to be on beats 2 and 4. Okay, something else I'm going to do today is I'm going to start writing the rhythms not simply on one line or space, but on the tops and bottoms of the staff to show you how some of the pitches change. Because as you could hear on the drum, if we played in the middle, you generally get a lower sound. If you played on the rim, you generally get a higher sound. So if you want to imitate these rhythms for yourself on your own djembe or your own drum at home, this will give you a little bit more of an idea about which pitches to play in the middle and which to play on the rim. Okay, so the first beat in this particular rhythm is a quarter note, and we play it in the middle. So it's going 1. And then on the second beat, you are actually hearing 2 little notes, 2 and on the rim. So you hear 1, 2 and. Notice those 2 little notes fit together into one beat. So these are eighth notes, and we're going to write them up here to show the higher pitch. And remember that the stems going up or down don't really matter. They don't really affect the note values that you see, but what they do is they help us to see the height of the pitches. Generally, if your pitch is below the middle line, like this one, we make the stems go up. If the pitch is above the middle line, generally we make the stems go down. It's just for cleanliness purposes. Okay, so and I'm also going to write the little half beat, which is an and, right here on the 2. So 1, 2, and then you're going to notice there's actually a silence on 3. So you hear 1, 2, and 3 with nothing, and then you're going to hear one more hit on 4. Notice the way that we hit the drum on beat 4 is actually a slap. So it's supposed to be a little bit louder than the other beats. So here is your silence on beat 3. Remember that this is a rest. This is specifically a quarter note rest, which means that you have 1 beat of silence. Okay, now here's our 4th beat, which is also on the rim, so we're going to do it as a higher note. And because that one is slapped and extra loud, we're going to make this symbol here. This is called an accent. So that just means we have to play it extra loud. So because of the 2 faster note values happening on beat 2, it gives us a slight emphasis on 2, and because of the slap on 4, it gives us a big emphasis on 4. Both of those considered weaker beats generally. So this rhythm ends up having a very strong backbeat. Shall we play it together? Thank you very much. Thank you, and join us for part 2 on syncopation. Bye.